Thank you very much for the kind words, and we are also very glad to be here, and I know that the students have really enjoyed staying here and all the different programs you have made for us, and it has really been a very interesting time we spent here, and they are looking forward to making the presentation so that you know something about Denmark, and those of you who are going to Denmark later on in the next months, we are very happy to show you some part of Denmark and the Danish way of life, which we find a little bit different from over here. I think that some of you will have to tie up the walking shoes, because in Denmark we don't really go by car as much as you do over here, and especially at our school we don't really drive from one building to another one. Anyway, it's so tiny that we can't really get a car around our school, but it will be quite an experience for you. And also one thing, actually now I've really seen 2 bicycles here on the road. That's really fantastic. And you will see in Denmark, you will see bikes all over the place, and you might even get to try a bike. I don't know if all of the Danish students who's going to Denmark has tried to ride a bike. Have you? You know how to ride a bike? What about you, Andrew? You have been on a bike also? Okay. Good. But then I think I will turn over, and 2 of our girls will make a little starting presentation, and then we'll go on to the different presentations about different subjects about Denmark. So we hope you enjoy to hear everything about Denmark, and I know some of them are doing a little bit of quiz later on, so maybe you should really pay attention to what they are telling you. So, Esther and Signe, it was you who's going to start, I think, wasn't it?
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Signe and I'm 18 years old.
Yes, and my name is Esther, and I'm 17 years old, and we are today going to present we're going to present a little video with 20 fun facts about Denmark. So, yeah, enjoy.
Hello, my name is Esther, I'm 17 years old.
And my name is Signe and I'm 18 years old.
And we are today going to present 20 fun facts about Denmark.
Our first fun fact is that Denmark is one of the happiest countries in the world.
The Danish flag is the oldest flag in the world.
The iconic Lego brick was invented by a Dane.
Denmark has won 14 Nobel Prizes.
Denmark has the world's best pension system.
Denmark's national animal is a swan.
In Denmark we have very high taxes.
In Denmark we have a word for that cozy feeling called hygge.
In Denmark you will never be more than 30 miles from the sea.
In Denmark you can drink water from the tap.
In Denmark we don't have any mountains.
More than 50% of Copenhageners are cycled to and from work every day.
In Denmark we have 3 letters called A, Ø and Å.
There is an unofficial law in Denmark for no one is better than others. It's called janteloven.
In Denmark healthcare is free.
In Denmark we are built on trust. For example, we leave our prams with children outside the house when they are asleep.
The Danish language is the mother tongue of more than 90% of the population in Denmark.
In Denmark we love beers.
In Denmark we are ranked as second in global sustainability.
Denmark is the oldest monarchy in Europe, and this is our queen, Margrethe. This was 20 fun facts about Denmark.
Hope you learned something.
Hello. My name is Emil. Hvordan tænder man? Yes. No. My name is Mikkel. Signe said that we had
we have a word called hygge, and I would actually like you guys to try to pronounce it. So you can try hygge, and then with an Y, hygge. Yes. And it originates from Denmark and Norway because it's actually been one country, and it expresses an atmosphere of warmth, a warm atmosphere, and a cozy feeling, and when you enjoy being together with other people.
And a traditional Danish dish at a lot of restaurants is an open-faced sandwich, usually with meat and vegetables and mayo.
So one of the traditions in Denmark is also fastelavn, and fastelavn is just like Halloween in the States. Children dress up in costumes and go door to door asking for candy, but the major difference between Halloween and fastelavn is that we have a tradition called slå katten af tønden, and back in the old days you actually took a cat and put it in a barrel, and then you hit the barrel with a wooden bat, but we don't do that anymore. Yeah. We actually just put candy in it, just like a pinata or what you call it. Yeah. So we are quite crazy. Well, and if you succeed to break the barrel and get the candy or the cat, what your preferences are, but then you become kattekongen and kattedronning, mean cat king and cat queen. If you're a girl, you're a queen, and if you are a boy, you are a king.
Another tradition is Sankt Hans, which originates from the Middle Ages, where you would put an old woman from your village on top of a fire to see if she was a witch. If she survived, she was a witch, and if she died, she wasn't. They usually died. It happens on the shortest night of the year, which is June 23rd, and you usually gather around the fire and sing songs. That was it.
Thank you, guys. Vikings.
Har du lyst til at stå her? Lyst til at stå her? Har du lyst til at stå her ved den her?
Ja.
Ved den her, vil du ikke lade gå?
Gå.
Rundt.
Nej. Wow. Du skal lige sende den.
Hi. Okay. Okay, so we are here to present about Vikings. My name is Jesper.
And I'm Sander.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who were the Vikings? The Vikings was all the North European people, also called the Scandinavians, and that was Denmark, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden, and the Finns weren't Vikings. The Vikings' age was between Iron Age and Middle Age, and they all became Christian at the end of the age.
Yeah. But what did the Vikings actually do? Because we've all been told stories about Vikings and how they all went on voyages and fought, and it was glorious and all of that. But in reality, most of Vikings were businessmen, common farmers, or craftsmen, like you see in the picture in the top right over here. But us Danes, we have this odd proudness for all the voyages that went on, which is kind of weird because what they did was go out and they raped people, awesome, stealing, awesome, killing people, again, awesome. So it's kind of weird that we feel this proudness towards them because that's kind of what they did. But something cool that they did do was create like kind of a forerunner to the alphabet, which is called runes. And as you can see in the picture over here with the stones, that's where they engraved the characters or the letters or what you'd call them. Yeah. Okay, so how did on the voyages, how did the Vikings get from A to B? Well, they actually revolutionized the ship industry back in the days, because what they did that most boats did not have was to add a keel down below the boat to add stability to the boat so that they could load the boat with more merchandise or more stuff. And then they also added masts with huge sails so that they could fly, well, not fly, but sail faster. So they actually made the boat so that they could carry more and go faster, which just were a huge advantage on the long overseas trips.
Yeah, and what's up with Leif Erikson? Leif Erikson lived from 970 to 1025, and he was distant relative to Nadab, the discoverer of Iceland, and he was also the son of Erik the Red, discoverer of Greenland. And Leif is believed to be the first European to discover North America. So that means Leif in and Columbus out.
Yes, and just to end it off, we have a slide just where we talk about the deep Danish roots that we have in the Viking history. Because Denmark was actually united during the Viking Age with our first king, Gorm the Old, in around 950 after Christ. So our country is actually based on the Vikings back then. And something even cooler was the North Sea Empire, which consisted of Norway, Denmark, parts of Sweden, and parts of England, which meant that Denmark back then was a huge country at some point under God the Great, which was pretty cool. And then the most important thing that the Viking history, that the Danish roots in the Viking history has, is the Viking blood, because it means that we are superior and awesome in so many ways compared to every other types of human beings on the planet. And you can see Sander here, he is just a perfect example of that. Yes, awesome. Well, yeah, that was our presentation.
Du skulle tage den, når du skal pege.
Ja, jeg skal gøre det, ikke?
Du skal ikke gøre det, synes jeg.
Ja, sådan helt rystet.
Ja.
Eller mit hjerte, det banker fucking meget. Jeg skal lige slå den fra det her.
Jeg står heroppe, jeg har ikke noget.
Vi kan også bare stille den her.
Ja, hvad er det?
Ej, mit hjerte, det banker fucking meget.
Bare start.
Okay.
Hi guys, my name is Emma and I'm 19 years old, and this is Anna-Sophie and she's 18 years old. So today we want to tell you guys about Copenhagen. So Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark, and it was made the capital in 1445. And it has around 1.3 million people living there together with the surrounding cities. Copenhagen is a really beautiful city, and yearly there's around 6.5 million tourists visiting every year, and visiting all the beautiful places. So when we found out that we wanted to talk about Copenhagen, we immediately thought about all the beautiful places that you can see and do. We thought about Christiania and the culture of taking your bike everywhere you go in Copenhagen, and that we'll now tell you guys about. So in Copenhagen, there's a lot of stuff that you can do and see. You can go for a walk by Lange Linie and see the beautiful statue of the Little Mermaid, which is this one. this one. And if you're interested in our royal family, you can go visit Amalienborg. That's where the queen lives, which is this building. This building. Yeah, man kan køre det. Never mind. And if you like shopping, restaurants, and beautiful, cozy buildings, you can go to Strøget and later to Nyhavn, which has a lot of beautiful and colorful buildings. And if you would like to, you can actually go for a boat tour through Copenhagen. So if you would like to have a little bit more fun, you can go to Tivoli. Tivoli is an amusement park in the middle of Copenhagen, and yearly there's around 4.5 million visitors going to Tivoli. And lastly, if you would like a wonderful view all over the city, you can go 34 meters, which is 112 feet, up to Rundetårn.
Yeah, and we're also going to talk about Christiania. Many of you might not know what it is, but we're going to try to explain it. So Christiania is Denmark's only free town, which means they're still under the Danish government, but they have their own society and their own community. They don't pay the regular taxes like the rest of us do, and Christiania was founded in 1971 by a group of hippies and activists who took over an abandoned military base and declared it a free, independent community. It is known for its alternative culture and their alternative governance system and their unique architecture. And the people who visit will describe the vibe as very friendly and 70s because people are very laid back and relaxed. There's drugs on Christiania. Christiania is Denmark's only free town, which means they're still under the Danish law. It has not also always been a happy and fun place. There's been a lot of drug-related crimes, such as theft and violence, and the sale of marijuana is a big thing on there. If you go to Pusher Street, that is where they sell it, on Christiania. And they have this rule on Pusher Street that you're not allowed to take any pictures or videos because the sale of marijuana is illegal in Denmark. And the sale of marijuana is primarily organized by Hells Angels, which is one of Denmark's biggest gangs. And when I say big, I don't really mean that big because gangs are not really that big of a thing in Denmark. I mean, we do have some, but they're rather small and they're not really a problem to the regular people. They're only a problem if you're in another gang or if you involve yourself with them. And the last two things I wanted to add is that they have this rule, which is don't run. And the reason they have this rule is because of the fear of police raids. And there has been a lot because it is illegal to sell drugs. And if you do run or you do scream, you will get punched in the face or kicked out because it creates a lot of fear. And lastly, the prices on Christiania is mostly from $3.50 to $13 a gram.
Hvor fuck er min ting henne?
Det er der ikke.
Hvad fuck?
Jamen det er der ikke. Der kommer ikke noget.
Har vi slettet det?
Ja, det er der ikke.
Okay, so in Denmark we have a big culture of taking your the bike everywhere you go. So instead of taking your car or the public transport to work, many people take their bikes every day because it's just a quick and easy way to get around. So when you go to Copenhagen, or if you go someday, you'll for sure really quickly notice that people are taking their bikes everywhere. And as you can see on these pictures, here in Denmark, we always have like a path for walking and a path for riding your bike. So that was our presentation.
Jeg kan ikke huske en skid af det. Nej, det er fint, at det kan bare trække på sejlet. Eller hvordan scroller jeg videre? Skal man trykke?
Du trykker enter, hvis lige introducerer selv.
Enter?
Ja, du trykker bare enter. Hello, my name is Matthias. I'm 18 years old.
My name is Philip. I'm 18 years old.
And yes, today we will be talking about Danish food culture. So, first of all, we're going to talk about madpakker. We're going to talk about the origin story of the leverpostej. Then we're going to talk about some typical Danish food, and then have a little bit of a quiz. So we need the auditions to participate. So first of all, can you make any guesses of what a madpakke is? And there's a hint in the bottom of the screen. We're going to need the audience to raise a hand. Murphy.
A lunchbox?
That is true. Please clap for Murphy. So the madpakke is a typical lunchbox, as you will see in many schools around the world. And the typical Danish madpakke contains some rye bread with some toppings and some fruit or vegetables. And also, if you have a sweet tooth, you can include candy or cake. So yeah, and it's used by both children, teens, and adults all over America and Denmark. And it's not common to have a cafeteria in your school, so you need to be planned or have a lunchbox planned when you go out.
Alright, origin story about the leverpostej. It's originally made in the streets of Copenhagen by a butcher. And the first leverpostej was sold in 1847. A Frenchman by the name Francois Louis Bourvais. Yes, that sounds right. Leverpostej is still popular today, but it's very different between many years ago and today. It's primarily made by pig organs, such as liver or other unused fats from animals. It's very delicious. Doesn't sound that great, but tastes good. It's also it's often eaten with bacon, cucumber, and beetroots. Yes.
Yes, and the most common thing in Denmark is that we use the resources we have available, and that is the accessible foods, because Denmark used to be a very poor country, so we would use the food we had in our neighborhoods. So it's always been like potatoes that has been the primary, I would say, vegetable in our food culture, because it's very easy to grow in Denmark because of the climate. And also pork is one of the main agricultural things we work on. And in 2019, Denmark exported a total of 1.4 million tons, metric tons, and 3.9 billion, and earned $3.9 billion just by selling pork to other surrounding countries. And then the sauces we usually eat in Denmark are typically brown and made of milk and cream. So yes, now we're going to do a quiz, so we need the audience to participate again. So we have 3 options, and we have a food on here. It looks very delicious, of course, and we're going to need someone to raise a hand and guess what it is called. Go ahead. Option 3 is the Danish word for a fridge, so that is unfortunately not true. It is option number 1. It's called medisterpølse. So medisterpølse is a typical Danish sausage made from ground pork, often flavored with onions, allspice, and other spices, and it's typically formed into a thick sausage and cooked by either boiling or frying. And yeah, it's basically commonly served at events like Christmas parties or just traditional holidays in Denmark, and it's very tasty. And you can see the texture is soft and slightly crumbly, and the flavor is savory and slightly sweet. So now we're going to need participants again. Anne-Sophie. Option 1 is correct. It's called stikflæsk med persillesauce.
It's basically roasted pork with tomatoes and sauce. Yes.
Stikflæsk med persillesauce.
Yes.
Option 2 22. That is correct. Yeah, that's good. Give a hand.
So it's a very Danish dish that consists of small, crispy pastry shells filled with a creamy mixture of diced chicken or shrimp in a white sauce. Yes.
So now we're gonna just do it. So please tell me what this is. So you should probably all know this.
Fadboms.
Excuse me. No. You can say the English word. Come on, guys, you know this. Yes, of course it is beer.
Fadbomse.
It's called øl in Denmark, and beer holds a significant. It's called øl. Can you say øl? Øl, yeah, very good. It holds a significant cultural and social significance in Denmark, and people enjoy it when they're together with friends or just family or just hygging, as Mikkel said. And it's a alcoholic beverage, and it's consumed during many social gatherings, as I just said, and also at parties and sports events and concerts. And the country of Denmark also has a rich history of brewing. We have many breweries in Denmark, and also very famous brands of beer. And yes, some of the breweries dating back to the 19th century. So beer has been quite important in Denmark for quite some time. Thank you for having us.
Der bare gerne slås.
Hello. Hello. My name is Lasse and I'm 18 years old.
My name is Mads and I'm 19 years old.
And we're going to talk to you about the football culture in Denmark. And as you can see in the picture, me and Mads have played football together for 10 years. Mads is the one on the left and I'm the one in the middle. And we've...
Yes.
And soccer or football is actually the most popular sport in Denmark, and it has a very strong cultural significance for the people of Denmark and is ingrained in our national identity, and it's considered a part of the Danish way of life. It's a source of community and camaraderie amongst not just the big leagues, but also the amateur leagues, and all the leagues are filled with passionate supporters. And the Danish national team, called the Danish Dynamite, have actually been very successful on the biggest stage. They're a source of pride and unity for the Danish people, and their highest position in the FIFA ranking system is 6th, and it's really impressive compared to our, when you think about our size as a country. And they actually went to the quarterfinals of the 1984 European Championships, and then they were semi-finalists in the 2021 European Championships, and then they actually won in 1992.
Yes, so when the national team plays, the Danish people just get together and drink a lot of beers and get wasted, and that's primarily what they do, and we cheer for our country, and it's all about the spirit in Denmark, and like even if you don't like football, you can join in and drink beer. So the biggest league in Denmark is called the Superliga, and it consists of 12 teams, and all of these teams has passionate and intense fans, and they are there to create an electric atmosphere. And one of the biggest games is FC Copenhagen against a club called Brøndby, and when these teams play each other, it's like really crazy, and people also get drunk there, and just yeah. And our league is primarily known for developing and selling players internationally. And now we want to show you a video of the team Brøndby and their fans. So that's what we got.
So yes, yeah. Can you hear me? My name is Oscar and I'm going to talk about the Danish welfare system. Yes, so you could say that our system is that a lot of public institutions take care in some way of the citizens' lives and welfare. Our system will never stop changing and developing because there's always been some different opinions to some different questions. For example, who should take care of the old people when they can work and take care of themselves? Who should take the care of the children when their when their parents are working? Who should make education for the kids and the young people? And who should take care of the working and also can't work anymore because of a disease? And the biggest part of the population in Denmark would say that it should of course be the welfare state. Yes, and all would say that it should be the family who should take the responsibility, and also would say that it should be the citizens themselves that should buy themselves some insurances so they can take care of themselves. But in Denmark, it's the state that take the responsibility. Yes, and our system gives us some equal rights and social services. For example, is it free to have education in Denmark, and you can receive some pension payment when you have worked in many years. Yes, we also have universal health care, which means that all Danish citizens and legal residents are entitled to free health care. Yes. And we do also have unemployment benefits, which means that if Danish citizens lose their jobs, they are allowed to have 2 years of unemployment benefits. And we do also have free childcare, which means that you can take your child to daycare or a kindergarten. And you can receive a pension, which means that all Danish citizens are entitled to a state pension at retirement age, which is funded through the taxes. And we also have education, which also is free in Denmark, and you can be paid for studying in Denmark, which is called SU, and the average income is about $326 a month. And then we have disability support, which means that individuals with disabilities can receive support from the state, both financial and housing support, and access to rehabilitation services, which also is free. Yes, but the welfare state is not for free as we say it is, because we're paying about 46% in taxes of our payment for our work. But there is some political parties in Denmark says that the state is paying for too many things that the people can pay for by themselves. And then they would argue with saying, if we don't pay high taxes, how could we keep all the social services we have in Denmark? Yeah, so you can see the welfare triangle, which the state is the biggest part in Denmark, but I think in your country, the market or the civil society is a bigger part than it is in Denmark, because you're paying it through insurances and we're paying it through taxes. Yes. Oh, that was all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Josephine and I'm 17 years old.
And my name is Marcus and I'm 19 years old.
And we're going to talk about the team sport called handball. So to get everything straight, we have to know what handball actually is before we go into details. So handball is a very fast and demanding team sport that combines elements of basketball, football, and athletics. The game is played between two different teams, each with 7 players on the pitch and up to 7 players substitutes on the bench. As you can see here, we have a picture of the court. The court is 40 meters long and 20 meters wide with 1 goal at each end, and the ball looks like this. Handball was invented in 1897 in Nyborg, Denmark, and it actually started out as a boys' game. Then it soon became a game for men's too, and after that it became a game for women and girls too. So the sport is actually for everyone now. The first handball matches were actually played in Denmark too, in the early 90s, in Copenhagen, Randers, and Fredericia, among other places.
Yes, so what does handball require? It requires a ball. The ball here is very light, playable, and you can, throw it, and it's about to get the ball into the net and score as many goals as possible. It's a team spirit, cooperation, and hard training for all players. There's no physical and mental strength that is required, but if you have it, it's a better thing. The game requires a combination of speed, strength, technique, and tactical acumen to be successful. But everyone can play. There's no requirements in how you are built or how you are. No height, no weight. That's not a requirement. We have 2 examples. We have one of the Danish players named Gissel. He's not the biggest guy, he's not the tallest guy, he's not the biggest guy in the muscle, but with hard work and everything he wanted to do is play handball, and you can see that of pacing. He has come a long way. And one of the other ones is Weisel, we have here, who is a Colombian player. He's a bigger guy, but it hasn't stopped him from being a handball player and play what he wants. Yeah, and then we'll have the match duration. It's break up in 2 halves. The first half is 30 minutes, and then we have a break of 15 minutes, and the second half again in 30 minutes. And if it is in a World Cup final or not a final or semi-final or something like that, and it ends on draw, they will go in overtime. And overtime is 15 minutes with a 5-minute break, and then 15 minutes again, and then hopefully they will have found a winner, or if it's still a draw, it will end up in a penalty shootout.
In international tournaments such as the European Championship and the World Cup, handball is one of the most prestigious and sought-after sports, that with the best nations competing to win the top places and writing their names in the history books, such as Denmark with the World Cup streak at 3 now, which is a very big historical event because it's never seen before, and we're very proud of that. Handball, as I said, is a very fast team sport. It has this strong global fan base with a long tradition of competition and cooperation. So whether you are an avid spectator or a dedicated player, handball will provide you with many hours of fun and challenges. That's it.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Lucas. And my name is Benjamin. And we chose to talk about continuation school.
Continuation school, what is it? It's a school. Often you can go there in 8th, 9th or 10th grade. So it's a school for 14 to 17-year-old students, and it's a kind of boarding school where you have to partially pay for your stay and partially the taxes will pay for it. And what? Yeah, okay. Along with education, you'll also usually be playing some kind of sport or have an activity that you do besides school, and it will be mixed in with your education, so you'll have some fun at the school.
So, how do you live in a continuation school? Students, they live together 2 to 8 in the room, and all of the same sex. The rooms gives like an opportunity to get each other to know each other better, and they've not brought any of their family or friends, so it's like a new start for everybody.
Okay. Yes, here we have found a schedule for a student at a continuation school, and as you can see, the school day is a little longer than usual, where you have classes all the way up until dinner, and that is because you have many activities throughout the day that is mixed in with normal education, so it doesn't get so boring where you have to sit all day, so you can get up and do something else in the middle of the day, do something that you like with your friends. Yes.
And meals in continuation school, there's 3 meals during the day, plus snacks and fruits. The snack consists of bread, and they get food in the school lunchroom where they all eat together. And breakfast is usually from 6:55 to 7:50. And dinner, at a continuation school, you eat warm dinner at 12 o'clock, and at dinner at 6 o'clock. And it's cold food because the staff, there's only one staff member in the evenings.
Okay, and at the continuation school, you have some duties. So a couple times a year, you have to work in the kitchen and help out the lunch ladies make food for everyone else. But along with that, you have to clean your room every day, and you'll also have a designated area of your shared space where you have to clean as well every day. Thank you very much. That's it.
Hello, my name is Lucas.
And my name is Asger.
And we're going to talk about the Danish drinking culture. Yes, the culture in Denmark. The drinking culture in Denmark is a social and a good atmosphere. Alcohol is widely consumed and is just a part of the norm to drink in Denmark at dinner, in a weekday, or just with your friends. Like, you can do it every day. And so you have to be 16 plus to legally buy it, but you can drink it whenever you want. So, and a lot of Danes just drink at home. And now we have the first time a Dane consumes a whole unit, and the most people start at 14 to 15, which is 26 and 23% of the population, but 15% already started at 13 to drink, and like 18, there's only 3% that first start drinking when they're 18, so we start drinking quite early.
And then we have J Day, which is J Day. It's the first Friday of November, and it's the day all the beer companies launch their Christmas brew. It's a Christmas beer, it's called, and all the young people, they go out and party and drink a lot or get drunk, and it's one of the biggest days to drink in Denmark, and it's a big part of Danish culture since 1990. But it's also received a lot of criticism because of all the alcohol and drugs consumed on that day. And then we have festivals. There's a handful of them every year, and there's always a lot of people. And we have festivals called Roskilde Festival, Smukfest, and Northside. And it's also a lot of drinking, where you drink from when you wake up to you go to bed. and you have tents on the field where you sleep, and it's very nasty. And and we have local and international artists featuring.
Then we have julefrokost, also translating to a Christmas lunch, and it's a traditional holiday celebration with traditional Danish foods like meat medisterpils, as Matthias showed you earlier, and you also eat rye bread with fish and other stuff on. And it's a time where people come together with their family, friends, or colleagues, and a lot of Danish people look very much forward to this day because it's a day where they can drink and enjoy time with their close people. And it's like a symbol of the Danish love for food and drinking. And on this day we also drink something called snaps, which is a very strong liquor, which kills you if you drink too much.
And then we have Nytår also for you, New Year's Eve. And it's the 31st of December where friends and family get together and eat some good food. And most people get wasted again. And we also use fireworks, but we stay safe, so you don't use it when you're drunk. That could be dangerous. And yeah, but it's also just get drunk and hear music and have fun. Yes.
Hvor langt er den tilbage? Lige før. Og her? Ja, okay. Sådan der. Vi har ikke en mikrofon, vi kan gå rundt med, vel? Okay, nå, det er fordi, vi skal rundt og snakke med dem, men det kan vi bare gøre så. Okay. Skal vi bare sige det med den her? Det kommer den til. Det gør du.
Yes, so we have about the Danish language. Okay, so first we're going to present ourselves in Danish so you can hear a little bit of the Danish language. My presentation is in English up here, so you maybe can follow what I'm saying. Okay. Hej, mit navn er Michelle. Jeg er 18 år gammel. Jeg kommer fra en by, der hedder Silkeborg i Danmark. Jeg kommer fra en familie af 6 mennesker. Jeg har 2 forældre og 2 lillesøstre, en lillebror og en hund, der hedder Mila. Ja. Nej, hvor blev din af? Nå. Du skal bare sige det. Yes, and a bit about the background. Danish is a Nordic Germanic language, and it's spoken by around 6 million people. It's spoken by Denmark in the region of southern Slesvig and northern Germany. So we're all closely related to Norwegian and Swedish, and we're all generally mutually intelligible. So we kind of all understand each other. And Danish is known to be one of the hardest languages to learn, and it is in the top 10 most difficult languages as well to learn. So Danish is evolved from the Old Nordic language in Scandinavia. It is closely related to the languages Norwegian and Swedish. And the most thing that is outstanding about Danish is that we have 3 additional letters. So you can see up here we have the 3 additional letters, and it's E, Ø, and Å. And we have some words for you guys we would like you to try to say. So I will say it first and just point out one of you guys, and you can try your best. It's no judgmental. Just try your best to pronounce it, okay? So the first one will be and the word for that will be æblegrød. And as you can see, it means applesauce. So æblegrød. Can one of the teachers up here try to say it? That was pretty good. That was pretty good. And the next one is called ø. So just imagine you're throwing up or something like Yeah, so the word we have for that is østers, which means oysters. So can the other teacher try to say that? Østers. Yeah, that's good though. Yeah, and the last one we have is å, and the word we have for that is ål. So eel. Can you try to say that, Alison? Pretty good, pretty good. And in addition to that, we also have some tongue twisters for you guys. They're a bit difficult, so we will try to keep slow, and then you can try to say it. Okay, so the first one we're going to take is the last one, which is 5 fade flødeboller på et flot flødebollefad. Yeah. And I'm not even going to say it in English, you can just read it because, yeah. So is anybody wanting to say it voluntarily, or else I will just point at one? Nobody? Okay, Murphy, can you try maybe? 5 flade flødeboller på et fladt flødebollefad. That was really good. That was really good.
Yes, that was pretty good, Murphy. So the next one is rødgrød med fløde, which means red porridge with cream. So Joanna, do you want to try? Say it. So rød grød med fløde. Yeah, that's pretty good. And yeah. Okay, the next one is kæmpe kæppe knækker mest, which means big sticks break the most. Caitlin, do you want to try? Okay, Liv, you want to try? Kæmpe kæppe knækker mest. Yeah. Yes, that was all we had.
Skal vi bare droppe den der, eller hvad? Eller skal vi snakke med den der? Okay. Jeg stiller mig herovre. Okay, so Denmark was ranked as the second happiest country in 2022, only surpassed by Finland. But why is Denmark so happy? We have made a small Kahoot containing some of the factors that make us Danes so happy, and we would like you Americans to play along. So please find your phone or computer and go to Kahoot and use the code up here to join the quiz. Skal vi bare starte? Okay.
I think we'll be starting now.
Du kan snakke, du siger spørgsmål, ikke?
So, the first question is, in Denmark we often use the word hygge, but what does it mean? You can come closer if you can't read from the back. So yes, hygge is a Danish and Norwegian word dating back to the 1800s, and it describes this mood of coziness and comfortable conviviality. It's when you take some time away from the daily rush to spend some time with your friends, family, or just by yourself doing something that you enjoy.
Så vi kan lige se det der.
So, true or false, in Denmark, healthcare is free.
So, as a citizen in Denmark, you get free treatment at your own doctor or special doctors. You can also get a subsidy to the dentist for medications and more. You also get a blue health insurance card that gives you free treatment in the EU.
So, next question is how many educations in Denmark are free? So yes, almost all educations in Denmark is free, but we do have a few exceptions. The exceptions are more private educations such as personal trainer, makeup artist, or helicopter pilot. But actually we do get paid, as mentioned earlier, when we turn 18 and are under education. The state gives us some money every month. So, next question is, how many weeks of paid maternity leave are women required to get in Denmark?
As a pregnant woman in Denmark, you are entitled to 4 weeks of paid maternity leave before your expected due date and 14 weeks after giving birth. Men are entitled to 2 weeks paid maternity leave, but it needs to be used within the 14 weeks after childbirth.
So the next question is how many or what percentage of Danes are members of at least one association? So yeah, in Denmark, 90% of Danes are at least members of one association. And these associations are communities with people with a common passion, for example a sport, something political or religious, hunting or another hobby. So true or false, of the last 4 Danish prime ministers, 2 of them were women.
Of the last 4 prime ministers, 2 of them were women. There is formal equality between the sexes in Denmark. It includes that men and women must have the same rights and opportunities.
So in Denmark, it is often regarded as a very safe and corruption-free country, but how do we rank among the least corrupt countries? Yeah.
Så giv det bedste til, altså sådan det der til den, der vinder.
So Denmark was ranked as the least corrupted country in the world. And this is one of the reasons why Danes have so much trust in each other and other people in general, and is also stated to be one of the reasons for our high placing on the happiness list.
Skal vi have dem til at komme herop, eller hvad? Ja.
So congratulations to the three people on the podium. We would like you three to come up here. We do have a little prize for you all. Jeg siger lige.
Er det der ikke den bedste del?
Det er jo første, anden, tredje.
Nej, den der er den er sådan lidt, den kan ikke lide.
So, Nature, who was called Nature?
That was me.
That was you. Congratulations.
Gosh, thank you.
And Kate, who was called Kate? There you go. Congratulations. And then, of course, the last, Jocelyn. Here you go.
Thank you. Ja, fint nok.
Okay. This concludes our presentations, and I hope you have got an impression about Denmark, and at least some of you are going to Denmark very shortly, and you saw what you're going to see in Copenhagen, and hope you all enjoyed the presentations. Yes, you have a comment? It's we have a compulsory military service actually, but you are making it to a lottery because there are so many young people. So otherwise it's 4 months, and then if you go into the lifeguard, to the guard, taking care of the Queen, it's 9 months. Okay, any other questions that we should try to answer? Then thank you very much for listening to our presentations. Those of you students going to Denmark, we would like you just to come up here.